Hey everyone, I'm the Rev, and in this video I want to discuss Assetto Corsa Evo. Now when version 0.4 was released not too long ago, I thought we're cooking with gas. There was more cars added, more tracks, the cars started to feel good, revisions to the force feedback. I really thought we were heading in the right direction. And Assetto Corsa Evo was sort of positioning itself as something different in the sim racing scene, especially on PC. For me, it was going to be the Gran Turismo for PC. Now depending on where you stand, which side of the fence you're on, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. And for me, I love road cars. I grew up with Gran Turismo. I'm a boy racer. I've been a boy racer since I first laid eyes on a Ford Escort RS Turbo Mark IV a long time ago. But I've been a boy racer since then, and I'll die a boy racer. So driving road cars around various different tracks, that really appeals to me. However, this week we got a bit of bad news. Now in the Discord server, there was an announcement. As you can see on screen, it was quite a decent length. However, basically what they were saying was Assetto Corsa Evo is scrapping its career mode and in-game economy. That means there's going to be no XP, no virtual money, and no progression tied to the currency. So basically they're moving away from like a grind, unlock progression type career mode, and they want to focus more on pure driving, skill-based progression, whatever that is, and a revamped driving academy, with a stronger focus on simulation depth, modding, multiplayer options, and free roam UI improvements. Now, as I said before, this is going to be one of those Marmite type decisions. I think you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. So in this video, I want to try and get your guys' opinions. I'll put mine across, how I feel about it, what it makes me think, and then in the comment section below, I want to know what you think. Where do you stand? How does it leave Assetto Corsa Evo for you? Now, in work, what we like to do is we like to do something called a shit sandwich. So it's not just all doom and gloom. We try and put all the negatives in the middle of two positives so that we're ending on a positive and we start on a positive. So for me, let's start on a positive. Now graphically, Assetto Corsa Evo is in my opinion the best looking sim when you get it in certain conditions. It doesn't always look magnificent, but on an extremely beefy PC like mine, it certainly looks magnificent when you get it in the right conditions. The lighting model is superb, the car models are beautiful, and as I've said before, for me, the second only to Polyphony Digital's. Gran Turismo's car models and lighting is superb. The way Polyphony Digital have poured their heart and soul into that game, you can really tell that they're car lovers. And I felt that Assetto Corsa Evo got really close to that. So that's a massive positive for me. It looks magnificent. Don't get me wrong, you can mod the hell out of the original and get it to look pretty good. As you can see here, I can get it to look pretty decent, but I'd still say that Assetto Corsa Evo in the right conditions looks better. And now I'm going to move on to a little bit of the negatives. I don't actually know what Assetto Corsa Evo's identity is. I don't really know where it's trying to go, what it's trying to be, and where the end game actually stands. If anything, I feel like we're as far away from version 1 as we were when it released in early access. Now I know, early access is early access. I put my money down, various promises were made, and I understand that things can change in early access. However, when one of your promises is an in-depth career mode and then you decide that you're going to cut the career mode, I find that really baffling. I understand that I've bought other games in early access, Le Mans Ultimate, I'm looking at you. However, when I bought Le Mans Ultimate, I bought it for the daily races and they haven't decided to cut the daily races. I think that would be an extremely strange decision. And for me, this is smelling a little bit like Kunos maybe bit off a little bit more than they can chew. For a start off, the AI is absolutely shocking. It's clear that it's a cut and paste job from the original Assetto Corsa. There's no getting around that. They react exactly the same. So in my opinion, they've just cut the AI from there and pasted it into Assetto Corsa Evo. Now maybe they haven't got the time to refine it, to make it better, to make it more believable and raceable. I don't know. But I feel as though they can't really get a decent single player experience. And because of that, maybe that's why it's being cut. The focus on free roam don't really understand that myself. I'm not massively into free roam, but again, I want to hear your comments. Maybe there's people out there where the free roam means massive things to you, and that's exactly what you want to do, what you want to play, and what you want a Assetto Corsa Evo to become. However, for me, my personal opinion is, if there's no progression, there's no career mode, there's no currency, there's no XP, there's no unlocking cars, there's no unlocking parts, what's the point? What is the free roam point? Why am I driving around? If I'm just driving around aimlessly, that seems really, really pointless, and I think would get real old real fast. But again, more than willing to hear your opinions. What do you think? In terms of the multiplayer, at this moment in time we do have daily races, however they are absolutely empty when I come to race in the daytime. That's the time that I'm able to race, and at the most I've ever had was 6 cars in a lobby. That's terrible. That's way worse than Race Room, and Race Room gets stick for having lobbies that can be pretty empty. I don't like the fact that I have to go out to the browser to then come back into the daily race on the game. I don't like that. I like it to be built in. Maybe I'm spoilt. I've been spoilt since Gran Turismo Sport on the PS4, and luckily Le Mans Ultimate has grabbed that baton from Polyphony Digital and brought that to the PC, and I love that ease of use. I love being able to jump on, see what the daily race is, and join the race from within the menu. That's what I love. I don't want to have to go out to the browser to then have to come back into the game. It just seems like a bit of a faff, and I don't like doing it. So for me, at this moment in time, the multiplayer on Assetto Corsa Evo is quite half-arsed. Once again, I understand it's early access, but we're not 2 months into this early access, we're not 6 months into this early access, we're over a year into it. And at this moment in time, we might have got a lot more content. Sure, we got more cars, we got more tracks, and we got better handling. But in terms of features, did we get any more features? I don't think we did. And if we did, were they any better than what was already available? Were they better than the original Assetto Corsa? Were they better than ACC when you used the LFM? I don't think they were, and I don't think Assetto Corsa Evo has evolved in any way, shape or form. At this moment in time, I think it's suffering a little bit from an identity complex. I don't know what it's trying to be, I don't know what the end goal is, which is a massive shame because some of the cars handle magnificently, and I'm talking the absolute best I've ever felt coming through my SimUcube 2. The weight transfer is so pronounced, the information fed back to the player I think is brilliant, the tracks are awesome, you can feel every bump, every undulation, and you can really feel the weight shifting around, the suspension moving, the tyre travel. I feel as though you can feel everything. It's super detailed and super fun for a lot of the cars. So it's such a shame that at this moment in time, I really feel like Assetto Corsa Evo is kind of a shinier original Assetto Corsa. And that's a bit of a shame because I really thought that Assetto Corsa Evo, as I say, was going to become the Gran Turismo for the PC. However, with this announcement this week, I was left massively disappointed, I'll be honest. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to look forward to 0.5, I'm still going to play it, but I feel as though maybe I was lied to a little bit before I bought the early access. Once again, I do know that things can evolve, but I bought the early access on the premise that this was essentially going to become the Gran Turismo 7 for the PC, and it looks like that's not the case at all. In terms of having weekly leaderboards, yeah, I don't mind that every now and again. However, it's not something that was hugely populated on Assetto Corsa Competizione, and that was when the game was at the height of its popularity. Not many people seemed to bother with them then, and I can't see loads of people bothering with them now. I think the sim racing game is changing, and I think that there was a massive opportunity to have something different within the sim racing space. I think that Le Mans Ultimate is massive competition for iRacing, and I think that if they can continue to grow and keep this momentum that they had last year, I think they're in a really good place. iRacing is improving all the time. If they just sorted the netcode out, I'd use that a lot more. And if you just fancy some track driving, some awesome cars on an awesome track, then we have the original Assetto Corsa. That will scratch that itch. So what on earth is Assetto Corsa Evo going to be now? I can honestly say I have no idea. I haven't got a clue, but I am looking forward to reading your comments in the comment section so that I can find out where you guys think in 12 months time Assetto Corsa Evo will be. Have you been let down? Do you feel let down? Are you happy with the announcements? Does it suit you? I obviously want to hear both sides of the argument, so do let me know. Personally, as I say, I think it's a bit of a shame. However, I'm still looking forward to trying the new cars, especially the BMW M2 in version 0.5. I hope you've enjoyed this short video. As always, I've been the Reverend. Thank you very much for watching.